Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thank you for watching the Go Mode Podcast Twitch channel. My name is Westside Vandal. I'm here with Leslie Pro, and we've got Game 3 of a Challenge Cup brackets first round. Hesjustaboy versus Sirbeaterofarse. And sorry, I had a bit of a tech issue there with my audio. I was hearing myself. So, sorry for the delay there. That was on my end, I think. Yeah, that was on my end, I think. So, thanks for the commiseration, Leslie. How you doing tonight?
Doing well tonight. I'm coming off a Game 3 win from last night myself. Not going to go into that right now because the focus tonight is on this Game 3 between Hesjustaboy and Sirbeaterofarse. This is standard fast cannon, random weapon, and apparently Uncle is cueing his inner megalovania because he thinks our runners are going to have a very bad time. Well,
I mean,
last seed was a very bad time. We'll leave that at that. I'm sure they'll tell you the story of that one. We start off with a bottle.
Yep.
We can now check Sick Kid when we get to the village. But more importantly, this random weapon they get from Uncle is designed to help them get through Hyrule Castle and escape.
And it could just be a plain old sword, which I don't think it is, but it is not. Oh, no, it is.
Oh, no, it is. I think the game is trying to make it up to our runners for the Game 2 seed I was referencing earlier.
Yeah, apparently that one, they had to pull Pestle just to get their one of their swords. I don't know if it was their first one or not, but yeah, that is no bueno.
On the plus side, they don't have to worry about expending ammo to get to try and get bomb drops because the sword stays with you.
Yep. Or running out of magic with the Cane of Burna or the Fire Rod, which are also two options you can get in the item pool.
You can also get Cane of Samaria, which running out of magic with that would be hard to do because the block can take 5 hits before disappearing. So, like I said, that would be a challenge in itself, albeit not one I'm going to undertake anytime soon.
Nope. But yeah, maybe it's just my personal bias showing through, but it seems like whenever there's been a fast Ganon in my life lately, it's turned into a slog of a seed. But yeah, we'll see if the RNG decides to be kinder to these two runners than it has been, well, to them and myself. As they continue through escape here. Kind of an interesting juxtaposition of flags here, because in exchange for seeing something you don't normally see for a randomizer seed, because the default setting is usually open mode, where you start with the game assuming you had cleared escape without grabbing any of the items, we're seeing standard, which is you have to do the escape, the 6-minute sequence we are currently seeing. And in exchange for that, we won't be seeing something you usually see in the higher amount of randomizer seeds, Ganon's Tower. Well, hopefully we won't be seeing Ganon's Tower. Glove and Zelda's Cell, nicely done. Nice pickup there.
Indeed, because you do need both lift upgrades to beat the game. Getting one of them early is always a plus, which it doesn't do too much now, but when paired with other items, it certainly starts to open up more and more. And chat does bring up something that I was going to touch on briefly, but got a little sidetracked, is that Sirbeaterofarse is using a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themed sprite.
Yep, one of a very, very large amount of sprites you can choose with the randomizer, designed by a very, very talented core group of individuals. I usually play as Abigail from Stardew Valley nowadays, although I do sometimes use like Mega Man X and Phoenix Wright.
No objections there.
Right, both runners having a pretty decent run through Escape here so far. Escape is probably one of the most practiced splits in Link to the Past vanilla speedrunning, simply because it is 6 minutes of basically just pure execution right at the start of the seed. And it can make or break your run if you have a bad run at Escape. So it being right at the start means it's probably one of the most practiced splits.
Yeah, the sync is really good for the two runners, but there's one thing I am wondering: where the bomb drops at? I mean, sure, they have gloves, so getting back here won't be much of a problem once they get one, but I'm pretty sure they'd like to not have to come back here.
Well, it looks like they're going to have to, because I'm not seeing any indication that any enemy here in Escape has been on prize pack with bombs in it. Both our runners going to keep it. Well, at least Hesjustaboy is going to keep attempting to genocide the rats in the waterway. Sirbeaterofarse looks like he has just given it up as a bad job and is just going to come back with those gloves and some bombs from elsewhere.
Well, how cruel of a joke would it be if there were bombs awaiting for you in the sanctuary?
Our restreamer is pointing out that she believes that the rats are in the Fairy Heart magic bomb pool, which means we should have seen bombs, but we have not.
Well, sometimes that's RNG for you. Sometimes RNG just says to everybody.
All right, there's our map there in Sanctuary, so there should be 3 items in the back of Escape. Early map check, crystals on Hera and Eastern, and a blue pendant on Desert is what I saw.
That's what it looked like to me, too.
Yep, and rechecking on the restream, can confirm that's exactly what it was.
Oh, there's a bomb drop. Wow, game. That could have been a couple minutes ago, just saying.
Yeah. Just hearts on the tree pole there, and ooh, big 20s from the bush crab.
That's when you really want to stock up on. Hesjustaboy not interested at the moment, checking Aga, and it's...
Oh, hey, more bombs.
Our runners might do that post-Kakariko.
Yeah. I'd probably see what Kakariko has to offer, and then save and quit back to Sanctuary. Of course, I say that, but what would probably actually happen is I would do Kakariko and then just autopilot do South Shore, and then be like, oh wait, I never went back of Escape.
Okay, so the reason our runners both got as much money as they did is that the bush crab is dropping big 20s.
Which Sirbeaterofarse took advantage of twice, and Hesjustaboy only took advantage of once.
Still, that's a very good start money-wise for our runners. Now,
especially because that glove does typically put the King of Scams in logic.
True. Now, we are going to have a difference in how Kakariko's going to be routed for our runners. By virtue of the bomb drop, Sirbeaterofarse will be able to start a north-south traditional Kakariko routing. Hesjustaboy, on the other hand, is going to have to go south-north, and Titan's Mitts in Blind's Hut. Wow.
Yep. And a shield.
And
flute off a sick kid.
That might delay the return trip to back of Escape.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Emphasis on might. Now, Sirbeaterofarse did not get any bombs there, so may have to buy some, or could just wind up going for YOLO it and jump.
That's usually what I do, honestly, in this situation, because more often than not, the game bails you out. Oh, hey, it's second empty bottle.
Yeah, the plus part of them being empty is you can just fill them with whatever you want: potions, fairy, a good bee if you're inclined.
Oro, our tracker, you gave the second bottle to Sirbeaterofarse, and not Hesjustaboy. There we go.
Nice. 300 rupees down the well.
All right, so we're gonna very quickly be able to pay the king scams here if our runners so wish. Oh, hey, look, bombs in the Kakariko Well.
Yep, meanwhile, it looks like our runners are about to unleash the goose. Or for those of you who were watched AGDQ, about to hear a big ol' honk.
Honk. Oh. We're not on his audio, so we have not heard the Hyrulean National Anthem yet. But at 10 minutes 28 seconds, the goose is loose, the duck is amuck, and the mallard is empowered for Sirbeaterofarse.
Now, one option we could see for Back of Escape is our runners may try to wait until they have boots and or mirror to just route that whole section in one go, or they might opt to go for it right away. Flute is going to make the timing of that interesting.
The Triforces represent wins in the the best of 3 series these runners are undertaking as part of this tournament match. Sirbeaterofarse is going to utilize that flute to go to the dam, get 10 arrows. Whoop, that was something blue on the library ledge.
Didn't see what it was.
That is blue mail on the library ledge. And
it's not terrible.
Little piece of love on the race game, or race game. So we will not be seeing that.
Meanwhile, both runners will be getting the same thing coming out of the dam, and ooh, it's the bug net. Sirbeaterofarse picking that up, and I agree with this play because you got 2 empty bottles. That'll help you fill it with either a bee, a good bee, or fairies.
Yep. All right, so now we'll see what Mini Moldorm Cave has in store for our runners today. And
a restreamer does bring up a good point, is that something there like the bug net, really good for menuing, because I had some rather awkward menuing last night because of what items I did and didn't have. But that's enough about that.
Well, Mini Moldorm Cave not really having much of anything for us today. We'll get He's Just a Boy within 13 rupees of Zora money, which Sirbeaterofarse was already past before that 100 rupees, but oh, well, I kind of forgot. I blacked out on the 40 rupees before the 100 rupees, so both our runners are going to have the 500 rupees needed for Zora at this point. Whether or not they choose to do that without, like, the Moon Pearl to enable fake flippering to Waterfall, or the flippers themselves to actually flipper, is another matter entirely.
Looks like He's Just a Boy fluted to the wrong location. Don't you hate it when you do that?
Yeah, that never feels good as a runner. Oh, hey, speaking of flippers.
Speak the name of the devil and it shall appear. And in this case, that just put all of Zora's domain in logic.
Yep.
I'd say go for it right now, because there's no guarantee you're going to be able to route that optimally, because you may not find...
All right, and of course, I would assume both our runners are going to immediately take advantage of those flippers, do the highly island check here, which is just 10 arrows. Check with our friendly hobo under the bridge, and then go to Zora's domain. Yep.
That's what they're both doing.
All right. So the hobo is fairly loaded. 50 more rupees for our runners.
50 rupees, it makes up for the bombs that both our runners had to buy.
Indeed it does. Yeah, there's a reason.
Because nobody likes the Zora scam.
I was about to say, there's a reason why King Zora is usually referred to as the king of scams. I think Smite still has the scam emote.
Yeah, he does, last I knew. Also worth noting that it's the real scam is when King Zora actually has something and you just about last location him because you don't have the money.
our tracker bringing up a valid point. The worst feeling is getting a compass from Zora when you're playing MC Shuffle or Key Sanity. This is a valid point. Single arrow of destiny on the Zora ledge. So far, Zora's domain not really doing much for us, apart from the bottle getting filled with a bee from the fairy fountain there.
I don't believe we'll know if it's the good bee or not until it gets menued to. Anyway, here's
Correct.
Zora.
And Zora, little piece of love. That is one expensive heart piece.
Yeah, that in the series, there's a polar opposite of that in Ocarina of Time, where you can get one for like 10 rupees somewhere, which is just crazy to think about.
He's just a boy deciding to invade King Zora's personal space a little bit there.
Not interested in that, but Sirbeaterofarse is making the play to check back of escape. Goes down for the usual light-colored rock, which is lighter, probably force of habit, because most of the times you do this in an open mode seed, you don't have Titan's mitts.
Yeah, no.
Piece of heart, a rupee horde, and an ice rod. Usually that means you don't have to face Trinex if you find that early, but who knows?
Yep, RNG gonna RNG. We'll find out once we get into the Dark World.
Which at this point, we are just a Moon Pearl away from having access. I don't know, sometimes those rupees are good for getting potions. But that's just me.
What is Sirbeaterofarse doing?
I think he skipped on the Ray scam.
Oh yeah, he did, that's right. He went directly to the dam. He's just a boy, meanwhile. Looks like he's gonna be heading over to Saha's Closet and Eastern Palace.
Yeah, right now our only options are this or fluting to Warp Point 1, which is Death Mountain. Which that would only be one check that's in logic, a look at another check, and checking out what's at Hobo via out of logic, Dark Rooms.
Alright, Swamp
seeing.
Palace is our green pendant. And just a bloomerang, and a couple pieces of heart in Saha's Closet.
Here's the part that's really where having a sword when doing Dark Rooms helps, is when you see that sword charge out, you see a glint of light. Basically, that helps as a guide so you know where Link is going.
Alright, Old man just giving us 20 rupees for bringing him out of the darkness today.
I think more valuable than that is the fact that when you restart off save and quit, now you can restart on Death Mountain. That can come in handy later on.
It most certainly can, yes. Alright, so Hesjustaboy starting off Eastern with the big key.
Cannonball run was a good one, and oh, that's an even
Speaking of
better
balls.
one. Because that Moon Pearl is now going to give Sirbeaterofarse Dark World access as soon as he gets it.
Nice. 50 rupees, first item in the Eastern. Chat already calling for the fire rod on Laser Bridge, which the stars can certainly perfectly align to make that happen, but that's just evil.
Anytime fire rods and turtle rockets, evil.
This is also true. Alright, looks like Sirbeaterofarse is going to... Oh yeah, he does have Titans. I was going to say, go to Kakariko and use his Dark World access, but that was half right. He's going to go to the Misery Mire area to invoke his Dark World access. Ether is going to be required to get into Misery Mire today, which is our 6th crystal. Our 5th crystal is Thieves Town.
Well, that certainly was a good
Skull,
play.
Ice, and Turtle Rock are our other crystals.
Yeah, this was a good play by Sirbeaterofarse, even if it didn't pan out in terms of items, because now he knows what medallion he needs to go into Misery Mire later on.
Indeed, he does. All right. So now I would expect the flute to 3 and going. Oh nope. Okay. Apparently he's gonna spend some rupees on some sustenance.
He's got the rupees, so it's definitely worth it because Dark World enemies do hit harder.
Okay, 3rd time's a charm. This has got to be Kakariko, right?
Meanwhile,
Hooray!
He's Just a Boy, he gets Bombos.
Nice. Unfortunately, not quite what we're looking for, but Bombos is a nice trick to have in your back pocket. It can clear out rooms if you're having trouble. Or if you're just like me and are just ticked off at the end of a seed and just want to clear out rooms with impunity and don't really care about your time anymore. 3 bombs, Desert Ledge. And it looks like we're going to see what Agina has to offer us today.
Now, it is worth noting that even though Bombos has been found early, and yes, Ice Palace is open, that does not necessarily mean that there's something in there.
Right. Just like finding Ice Rod did not foretell that we weren't going to go to Turtle Rock because, well, there's the RNG. Oh, hey, powder in Agina's cave.
Well, it's a nice little helper for dealing with the anti-fairies. And now we open up Magic Bat as soon as we find a hammer or a mirror.
Yep. All right. He's
Another
just a boy
piece of-
gonna go ahead and do the old man rescue. Interesting move by Sirbeaterofarse here. He elects to forego Thieves Town in favor of some more Dark World Overworld checks. I can kind of see the argument that yes, you do not have the hammer, but it's still the potential for 4 items and it's a crystal. And it is technically clearable.
Yeah, it's clearable all the way down to the boss as well. Yes, you run the risk of a hammerlocked item if you go into Thieves Town at present, but it would still be worth going in anyway.
Yeah, like that's at most one item left. Now, chat pointing out that, again, just kind of one of those things that is kind of a confirmation bias issue. There's been a lot of things like Hammer in Hype Cave recently, which is where Sirbeaterofarse is beating a path to at the moment. But, again, it's right there. It's a good possibility of I mean, there are 4 items in there, and there's a good possibility we can get to all 4 even without that hammer, and it's a crystal. I'd understand this reticence if it was a pendant, but when it's a crystal, I would have just gone in. But that's why I'm commentating and not playing.
Yeah, that's one where I probably would have gone in unless I had a very good reason, such as lacking a weapon. Oh, speaking of weapons, how about a Master Sword?
Yep,
Followed by
and
a
more
rupee
rupees.
horde, 320 rupees, 10 arrows, and a
And a
fire
fire shield.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Nope. Alright, he's just a boy completing his map check to get the information on our itinerary for this seed. And he's just a boy. Looks like he's going to go into Skull Woods here.
Yep. This is a play where older versions of the logic were basically about 50-50 for having at least one progression item in Skull Woods. And based off what we've seen, I would say that if there's not progression here, it's definitely in Thieves.
Which that looks like Sirbeaterofarse is going to head for. So again, an interesting little divergence from our runners here. Sirbeaterofarse's palette shuffle makes it look like Blind shares interior decorators with Ivan Ooze from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie.
I was going to suggest the late great rock star Prince.
That's also a good call. I mean, all 3 of them probably. Just, hey, this guy did really good, and I really love this purple. Oh, hey, I agree.
Yeah, you could say that Thieves Town for Sirbeaterofarse got flooded with purple rain.
I mean, like I said, Prince is a good call, but... Oh, hey, hook shot.
That hook shot now opens up East Death Mountain as well as East Death Mountain, and that lamp. Yeah, this was the right play.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Skullwood's not going so well for He's Just a Boy at the moment. Not really anything of note. Getting a little bit roughed up.
Well, how about a bow?
Okay, that's definitely a thing.
That's certainly a plus, while He's Just a Boy getting out of there with a death warp.
Nicely done. I'm going to assume that's 2 items out of Skull. I did not see what the first one was. But the bow is a pretty decent one regardless, so... Alright. Gonna get a bumper ledge check here from He's Just a Boy. He's gonna need to be real careful because he's at 1 heart in the Dark Overworld.
And many of the enemies in the Dark World hit for 2 hearts or more.
Yep. Just a map in the attic for Sirbeaterofarse. Gets it open.
So at this point, what you really do not want to see, if you're Sirbeaterofarse, is a small key in blind cell, because that basically means that you've potentially got something locked in there behind hammer.
Our tracker saying that that the bow was the first item found in Skull Woods. So the other one is still at large, locked behind that fire rod, because we do need to go to the fire rod locked portion to be able to get the answer we're seeking. Sirbeaterofarse heading for blind cell. That's the fire rod.
Fire rod, that might just send Sirbeaterofarse that way.
Yep. And I would imagine it would probably send He's Just a Boy right back that direction as well. All right, so what pun does Blind have in store for us tonight? Okay,
A
then.
sausage joke. I'm not gonna say anything, it might get taken out of context.
Yeah, okay, thank you. He's Just a Boy very nearly took a save and quit there, which not what you want to do. He does avoid the mistake and take the death warp though. Cape off of Blind.
Yeah, to say that Thieves Town was loaded is an understatement. Unfortunately for He's Just a Boy, by leaving, he is leaving some of that value behind, which he is going to need.
Yep. I'm a little surprised he chose to leave, to be honest. And again, you know, yes, you might say I'm saying that from a position of knowing what's in there, which is partially true. But again, at this point, I would strongly consider finishing Thieves Town, simply because it's there. Yes, there's a possibility of a hammerlock, but it's a crystal that you have more than enough capability to finish.
And He's Just a Boy does not need those arrows.
Nope. And Sirbeaterofarse is indeed going to take that fire rod and head into Skull Woods here, so he'll be receiving his bow here shortly.
The bow's in the pinball chest, however. Most runners, from what I've seen and played myself with Skull Woods, they like to save that location for last now.
Yeah, I can see it, especially when you have the capability to just go and face Mothula. A lot of runners seem to favor this back to front approach that we are seeing from Sirbeaterofarse lately. Can't say I blame them, because in non key sanity modes, there are only 2 items to be found in this dungeon, and there coincidentally are 2 item locations in the back half of Skull Woods, one being Mothula and one being that chest you just saw Sirbeaterofarse pass over. Looks like He's Just a Boy is going to take Jeremiah on a little bit of a world tour here.
Admittedly, this is fun to do when you don't have a mirror. He'll be happy to see the Master Sword for sure.
Alright. I mean, I'm pretty sure Sirbeaterofarse still has 1 potion. I would have just fire rotted that Gibdo, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, same here.
Alright. Trying to bait out the Wallmaster there. There we go.
The reason he did that is because in Japanese 1.0, Link's hitbox does not despawn when falling, so yes, that Wallmaster can pull Link right out of the hole.
Yep. I have had it happen to me, and I did not like it at all.
No one likes it.
Apparently, Sirbeaterofarse. Nope, there it is. Okay, making the most out of the resources that blue bottle refills. I saw him go for the cape, and I was a little concerned. But he was just burning up all the magic so he could refill both his magic and his health with that blue. Get every last drop of value out of that thing. Moth is just not playing nice, just hanging up by those spikes there. Again, another quirk of Japanese 1.0 is if you damage Mothula and his animation takes him back into a spike, the damage is cancelled. Which is just serves to prolong the Mothula fight.
And the pain and suffering of the player.
Yes. Sirbeaterofarse manages to overcome, collects a crystal and the big key for Skull Woods. Meanwhile, Hesjustaboy heading to Paradox Cave here. Finds bacon.
That's a big pickup. Because now your offense is on par with how the NMG run ends. Because Tempered Sword, Master to Tempered is such a huge power difference.
And there's the mirror in Paradox. So some nice pickups for Hesjustaboy, which will unfortunately probably prevent him from going back to Thieves for just that little bit longer. But we'll see how this shakes out, as Sirbeaterofarse is going to continue going to the front of Skullwoods here to pick up his remaining booty. Having a little bit of trouble with the Gyarados and the Wallmaster. Again, not quite sure why he isn't using some of that magic.
Oh! It's a tough break, taking a death to a Gyarados hug.
Yeah.
I advise against those, because they are fake.
Yeah, they tend to sting a little bit. Let's see if, yep, he's done playing around. He's just going to roast him with the Fire Rod now, which is what he should have done in the first place, but that's just me. Oh, narrowly avoids the Wallmaster there. Small key. Bleh.
Hookshot Cave 10 airs for Hesjustaboy. Along with a piece of hat. Bombs, well, we're one that's not bad. 5 rupees. Not worth.
Nah, how about hammer in the bombable wall in Swamp Palace, because bleh, that isn't annoying at all.
Not only annoying, that's evil. I think I've only had that one seed, and that was in a much older version of the logic, where things like that were, I wouldn't say they were fairly easy to read, but you could sort of tell when the game was being a trolley pooper in those situations.
Alright, Sirbeaterofarse making his way now around to the pinball room to get that bow, waiting for him at the end of the line here. As Hesjustaboy is going to enter Hera now.
Oh, he's in the neighborhood, he might as well.
Yep. And it is crystal, so... Alright, well, looks like we're going to have to take a bit of a coffee break here.
Well, this can be a good thing. Say your hands are feeling sore, or just need to take a quick drink. Yeah. That's what I like using this room for.
now would be a good time to remind you that you're watching this amazing race on the Go Mode Podcast Twitch channel. So if you haven't already, please follow our runners, our restream team, podcast itself at gomodepodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts from. And if you're a fan of the community, there's always the Discord with such things as the Biweekly Seed, which is a treat this time around, having already completed it myself. So yeah, check out all those links, do the things, if you could. Hesjustaboy receiving that Tower of Hera big key, and now can continue to make his way up. Sirbeaterofarse, meanwhile, going to be clearing out Eastern here. Will receive his Bombos Medallion and his third crystal. Or at least we would assume is going to pick up his third crystal. You would probably actively have to be trying to die in Eastern Palace with our runner's loadout.
Hesjustaboy going for a bomb jump, no dash, lead into it, gets it. That is a very tough bomb jump. You only have a 2-pixel window to get that. When dashing and bonking, that window expands to 6.
Nicely done. And will make his way up to the Troll Dorm himself. Alright, nice clear by Sirbeaterofarse in the skeleton room. Gonna be using that tempered sword here to clear out Moldorm as Hesjustaboy. Nicely done. Tower of Bombs and Tower of Hera today. Both our items were bomb packs. But more importantly for Hesjustaboy, picks up his first crystal.
Yeah, thankfully the Troll Dorm fight is rather simple once you get up to Tempered Sword, as it's really the tail takes 1 slash, 1 spin, and the boss is done.
Okay. So I would assume this is Hesjustaboy just checking the Turtle Rock medallion? Oh no, he didn't do Spiral
Nope.
Cave.
Nope, saving Spiral Cave for last, which is a very smart move on his part because, well, let's just say this is a long check. It closes out the Death Mountain loot.
By the way, nice rupee count for Sirbeaterofarse right now. And by nice, I mean spooky.
Well, it's not Halloween, but still, I get what you're coming from on that.
All right. Sirbeaterofarse making his way on back to the Armos Knights boss fight. Meanwhile, Hesjustaboy gonna do the Meyer checks.
And it's worth noting that he can enter Desert by virtue of having that mirror. I mean, technically he doesn't have to because it's a pendant, but still there could be progression inside.
There indeed could. But we also do not have those boots, so there's a possibility we're boots locked as well. Which could lock off one of the available item locations. Well, technically two, because that big key also locks off Landless, but... Alright, Sirbeaterofarse looking to set up the quick kill. I don't think he got it.
Nope, he got bopped.
Yep. It is never a fun feeling to have the Armos fight get away from you. But a decent recovery. And there's the Armos kill. So Sirbeaterofarse gets his third crystal. He's just a boy, only has one at the moment. Really needs to just go back to Thieves Town, clear it out, take that fire rod, and then clear out Skull Woods. Took a death early in Thieves and decided to leave. He's just a boy, and had the fortunate/unfortunate situation happen of finding the mirror to be able to do some of these checks here.
So this is interesting. Sirbeaterofarse never checked Sahasrahla. Not going to be thrilled by the item selection, but does get another heart container filled up.
Indeed. All right, looks like this is going to be he's just a boy heading back to Thieves here.
Sirbeaterofarse pursuing the hook shot. I'm kind of surprised he didn't just flute over to 5 to go into pod to gamble on that having something. I mean, you've got the bow, so there's no risk of getting locked out. And there's a non-zero chance of Hammer being vanilla in this situation. Let's face it.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised you didn't point that out earlier because you'd figure. Oh wait, Sirbeaterofarse doesn't have the mirror yet. My apologies. I was like, you would figure, because I only thought that because I had just been talking about the mirror on He's Just a Boy's end. But if the situations were reversed and He's Just a Boy went to go do that, we would have seen him set that up to loop both Palace of Darkness and Eastern Palace back to back.
And our trackers corrected me as he'd have to flute over to 3 and take the north route to the river to get back to pod, so this does make sense when it's put that way. He's about to get a mirror, though.
Yeah. So both of us had a bit of a brain issue there, and for once Oro decided not to correct mine because he was too busy correcting yours, so I'll take that. Nicely executed bomb jump by Sirbeaterofarse to save a little bit of a climb back up.
Could he be going to Spike Cave first? I mean, Spiral Cave first, I wonder. It's pretty easy to get those locations mixed up.
Yep, looks like he's gonna do Spiral first here. But I would assume he's gonna stick around up here, do like the Dark Death Mountain checks, and also Tower of Hera. So we're gonna be seeing some duplicate checks here for the next minute or two, while our runners just kind of clean up some loose ends here.
Other things that we haven't seen yet include Ice Palace checks, which, if I were to be honest, whenever I go into Ice Palace without Hammer, I'm not doing bomb jump for a reason in that situation. It's because I'm in there for an item check more than anything else.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see Ice be the next play our runners make. After He's Just a Boy. After they finish their respective dungeons, and when I say that, I'm including Skull Woods for He's Just a Boy. I would probably think about going to Ice with our loadout as it is. What we are on the lookout for item-wise, we are looking out for Hammer, Cane of Samaria, and Ether. And then I believe we have not yet seen exactly what medallion we need for Turtle Rock. Nope. Tracker is saying Quake. So we have found the one medallion that we technically do not need to clear the game, which, nice. Also, Ether and Quake, is this even randomized?
I was wondering if that was going to be pointed out. Sometimes I've had those roll reverse vanilla.
Alright. So Hesjustaboy making quick work of blind, picking up his second crystal. And again, I would presume is going to take that fire rod and immediately go take down Mothula. I'd probably say they're about even at the moment, because Hesjustaboy is about to tie up the crystal count, and they're both going to be pretty much on even footing. Although Sirbeaterofarse has a little bit of a lead at this point, just kind of based on having done Skullwoods already. Like, it's really going to come down to routing here. Very, very shortly.
True that, although there is one other scenario out there where you could potentially find Hammer in or beyond Misery Mire, but for that to happen, you'd have to have the Ether Medallion just to get in, to potentially find it there. Or if it's not there, clear the dungeon, is Canis Samaria, and have a very convoluted Hammer at Pyramid Fairy, which is a hard Aga 1 requirement no matter what. So guess what, folks? Aga ain't dead yet.
Oh, dear God. So, Morbid, we did see the other Skullwoods item. It was a big 20. So, we might see, Hesjustaboy lose a little bit of time there. Sorry, my brain rebooted for a second. Because he is going to probably look for that second item. And, you know, big 20, not really useful in the grand scheme of things. Because what's 20 on top of 1,201?
1221. Team Palindrome represent.
Okay, then.
Oh, I couldn't resist.
No, I know. I just... there are just moments
Whoa,
where...
you see how fast Mothula shot across the room there on Hesjustaboy's side? Holy smokes. It was like he was shot out of a cannon.
All right. Chat pointing out that Pyramid Fairy Hammer is not technically possible because of the way Thieves Town works out.
Key logic is weird for that dungeon, admittedly.
Key logic is weird for a lot of the dungeons of this game. And it's kind of one of those edge cases that really gets ignored unless you kind of get into weird edge cases like this. All right. Sirbeaterofarse taking that tempered sword and going to town on Moldorm, receives his fourth crystal. He's just a boy on 3 and cleaning up the rest of Skullwoods here. Gonna be doing that bomb jump to receive his 20 rupees, and then I would actually probably think he would do what we were kind of discussing earlier, in that he would go to Eastern and Palace of Darkness and kind of loop those in together with the mirror.
I could also see him going over to... He could probably go to Pyramid Ledge from here, because we haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen Magic Bat, which is very much in logic due to the mirror. Yes, Hammer can be there. I have had that happen a couple times, so yes, it's certainly possible.
Graveyard Ledge, Lumaga. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Yeah, this is one of the fun things I find with this rando, the possibilities that are out there.
Nope. We have not seen Catfish yet. Hey, Red Meringue.
So this could route over to Catfish very easily.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my bad, Lumaga. All right. Looks like we are going to see that Graveyard Ledge check here from He's Just a Boy.
Sirbeaterofarse just picking up the powder.
Did I just say Graveyard Ledge instead of Catfish? I'm pretty sure I did.
Yep. I know it's a Friday, but I blame the cold air mass that's settling in. Ugh.
Oh, it's already been where I am for a few days now. It's been fun. Because even though I'm technically, I'm in a state that shares a border with Canada, for some reason, my specific area never expects snow until we get socked in the face. So even just a couple inches of snow is like a disaster level event here, and it's just like, really, guys?
Speaking of really, Catfish only giving us 3 bombs. Really.
Yeah. That's always fun times when you make that long trip just for 3 bombs. Or, as was mentioned with the Catfish's slightly greedier brother, Compass, in Key Sanity or Compass Shuffle modes.
So unfortunately for Sirbeaterofarse, that's the end of his exploration in Desert, as that's just a heart container.
Lumberjack Ledge is just 3 bombs. I'm assuming that's what chat meant by Lumby.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking too. We're about to see what's on the pyramid itself. We haven't been here yet to my knowing, and that is a bee in a bottle. And somewhere VTorp is disappointed.
I don't think we ever found out what bee the Pyramid Fairy gave us, did we?
As far as I'm aware, we have not.
All right, looks like He's Just a Boy is gonna do the thing and loop Palace of Darkness and Eastern together. Sirbeaterofarse looks to be basically following in his footsteps here. Or not? Question mark? Oh, okay.
Taking a different route.
Yep. Alright, so He's Just a Boy into Palace of Darkness now. And then from here, it'll be a pretty quick jaunt into Eastern to take down Armos for that crystal. Yep. Oro reaffirming that all 3 items in Eastern were prior to Armos, so Armos only holds that crystal for us.
Yes, we have both runners on the fire shield at this point, which is definitely a good one to have when it comes to blocking fireballs.
Yep. Alright, Sirbeaterofarse about to receive the disappointing news from the catfish. Alright. And just keys in the front of Palace of Darkness. Not really all that surprising. Having a little difficulty powdering that fairy, but gets it eventually there.
Yeah, sometimes those anti-fairies can be tricky to hit.
Yep. And away we go to the back of Palace of Darkness here. Okay. A little bit of trouble getting things to line up properly in the first Mimic Room. Gets it taken care of, though.
So let's see what's on Bolot's pod.
Oh, hammer!
Okay, you know what? We're probably going to be asking Christos about that later. Because that barely even made it out of its own part of the dungeon. Not even the dungeon. Looks like that was just a regular old bee.
Nice use of the bombs there by Hesjustaboy to really put a hurting on that pack of enemies there.
Yeah, those hard hat beetles get stunned by bombs, although I think this was more of a case of the bomb dropping into position when Hesjustaboy got hit. So we're going to write that one off as a happy little accident.
Settle down, Bob Ross. All right, so Sirbeaterofarse is definitely going to be happy with that once he gets there. Hesjustaboy already pretty happy. Going to be able to take that hammer elsewhere here shortly.
Here's some good item routing from Hesjustaboy. As a result of having only 2 keys at that point, with only Dark Maze, and Big Chest, and Harmless Hellway to go before the boss, you know that that chest in Harmless Hellway is going to be a small key as a result of how pod key logic works. So by knowing that,
There's our ether, by the way.
And as a result of knowing that, he's able to skip that chest without penalty, which is really good routing.
There's the Book of Medora.
Shall we just check the pedestal while we're at it?
Yeah, I was about to say, I had one scene earlier today where there was a medallion on the pedestal. Granted, it happened to be an ether that wasn't needed to clear the seed, but
I'm just wondering if you shouldn't just check pedestal to see if Quake is there.
I mean, it's definitely an option, but we'll see. Then again, we've already seen one French vanilla item. Who's to say there isn't a second one, as chat points out? Who's to say Kano Samaria isn't hiding out in Misery Mire?
Speaking of, my Game 2 seed in round 1 had a vanilla Cane of Samaria.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was dirty.
Chat pointing out anything we don't have other than the boots, because the actually oh wait, yeah, because boots locked in Eastern. Duh, sorry.
Boots locked Eastern? I don't think the
Desert.
game would be beatable if that were a thing.
Desert. I don't know how I managed to get those two confused so often, but I do.
That was a very smooth turtle party room for Hesjustaboy, as those turtles weren't going anywhere.
Yep. He's just a boy, proving he is turtly enough for the Turtle Club. And it looks like he's just going to go ahead and take down Helmasar King here, just as kind of pedestal insurance.
It's also insurance in case Helmasaur King's holding a required item, or the boots.
Valid point. Looks
Well,
like
let's
he's just a
shoot
boy.
arrows into that big old gem when you can just splash it 4 times with Tempered Sword.
And he's just a boy preparing to go to Eastern after all is said and done here. Just a little piece of love from Helma and that red pendant. So we're going to see the mirror out and the Eastern clear here for He's Just a Boy.
It's a play that really routes itself because you don't have to go back to this screen from both sides of the world, which saves a ton of time.
Chat calling me out for the quality of movies I reference on this during broadcasts, and I'm just gonna say it. Who can't appreciate a movie that has the wherewithal to cast Data from Star Trek: The Next Generation as a guy who massively farts whenever he laughs too much?
Now that's a good one. I haven't seen that, but I probably should. Just that type of humor is, well, it's right in my alley.
Yeah, like I said in chat, the movie in question, which is Master of Disguise, it's a Dana Carvey film, is not cinematic. You know, it ain't gonna be on Masterpiece Theater anytime soon. But if you're just wanting a movie where you can shut off your brain and laugh at dumb early 2000s jokes, yeah, it's decent enough. I mean, this is how product of the time it is. One of the main things in the movie, one of the main scenes in the movie, heavily involves Dana Carvey's George W. Bush impression. So yeah, it's a product of its time.
Yep, it certainly was. As meanwhile, we've got He's Just a Boy out to face the Armos Knights as Sirbeaterofarse is getting ready to go through Ice Palace. There's a reason, at least here with Push to Talk, you guys are safe.
I was not expecting that.
I think my cocom.exe has crashed. Reboot?
Okay. I was not expecting that. Holy crap. Okay. And we're back. Woo! Alright. So we're even up on crystals, and it looks like we're gonna have runners in the same dungeon yet again. As He's Just a Boy is making the play into Ice Palace. A little surprised he didn't burn some of those rupees to just buy some refills for his bombs and or arrows, but we shall see. Sirbeaterofarse now. Ice Palace bomb jump. Oh! Did not stick the landing. Got the dismount and did not stick the landing the first time. Fixes that unfortunate error the second time.
I believe that would be Clinton.
Yeah, that's Clinton, Purples. Herbert Walker Bush would be read my lips, no new taxes. George W., well, I mean,
We'll let late night TV make all the jokes there because that
Yeah.
was one of the staples of late night TV of that era.
Yep. Strategery. I say it right as Oro types it in chat.
You guys
We're not so different, you and I. Alright. We now return you to your regularly scheduled Link to the Past randomizer race already in progress as Sirbeaterofarse drops down and continues back upwards to look for more items here. Meanwhile, first Hesjustaboy does bomb jump actual first try.
Yep, he stuck the landing on that one.
Bowling a strike. Yep, nicely done.
Taking a different route through Ice Palace, I see.
Slightly different, but still just as valid. Except for that part. That was not valid.
That was just holding up an input for a little bit too long.
Yep. Or, you know, we could make a flimsy argument for iframe abuse.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, having iframes with that many jellies around you, yeah, not a bad thing.
Nope, not at all. Alright. Oop, didn't quite get the statue pull there. Got it that time, though. Butter!
Full-powered sword. After the trouble these two had in their last seed with swords, has to be a welcome sight.
Indeed. Alright, so at this point, we are just searching for that Cane of Samaria, or something leading to it, which means we could find Mushroom, we could find Shovel, and those could lead us on the path to that Cane of Samaria.
And one thing to keep in mind is that while we still need that, we also need the Quake Medallion, and we do have both tablets open to be looked at with the book.
That's right. Oh, looks like Hesjustaboy was attempting to line up a bomb jump, but then thought better of it because of that big key.
Big key lead to small key.
So, something interesting to point out here, Sirbeaterofarse entered Ice Palace first, but Hesjustaboy is going to be heading to Cold Stare. Well, no, he's not. Never mind. Don't mind me.
Yeah, this might be a tactical play to refill health. Oh no, hasn't gone to Ice Tea. Or I feel like I've called that room Ice Hammer recently because it resembles the shape of a hammer that's been swung.
Alright, Sirbeaterofarse opening up the Cold Stare fight with that Bombos Medallion. Doesn't really have the magic to do anything other than that, and then the Gold Sword should be able to make very, very quick work of Cold Stare, which it does. 10 arrows. Crystal. And the search is now on for that Quake Medallion and that Cane of Samaria.
At this point, Swamp Palace would not be a bad play because it's 6 items and that green pendant makes it for a 7th.
Oof. Hesjustaboy not too far behind. Definitely a lot closer than he was entering Ice, though. He made up some time with his routing and execution, I feel. Similar opening from He's Just a Boy, and probably similar result with that gold sword. Should be able to make... Or he can pull out the fire rod. Scared me for a second there, but does the job with just slashes of that gold sword. And Sirbeaterofarse is indeed going to go into Swamp Palace here. We'll see if He's Just a Boy elects to follow or not, or if we're going to have some route divergence, because there, as chat points out, there are still some overworld checks left to be done.
And
He's Just a Boy is... Yeah, it looks like he's gonna head into Meyer here and see what Meyer has in store for us.
This is a pretty significant divergence, because if Cane of Samari is here, it is a massive advantage for He's Just a Boy.
All right, big 20, first item in Swamp. So this is going to be interesting to keep an eye on here as this situation develops. Because I kind of feel like both of our runners are in a spot the other runner is going to be putting off for a bit. So if either runner finds something here, it could be huge. Granted, advantage, He's Just a Boy if Somaria happens to be here in Meyer. But if Sirbeaterofarse finds anything here in Swamp, that's also bad news.
What would be bad news for our runners is if one runner strikes out, the other runner finds boots, because that would put Pedestal squarely in play. And we just found our first item in Meyer. It was a big 20.
I don't know why I've never thought of falling off the bridge in that particular room of Meyer like He's Just a Boy did. But I'll have to
Probably to
file that
avoid
away.
the walk back, but if I have boots, I'm not doing that. Oh, and speaking of Kana Samaria, He's Just a Boy is gonna be disappointed, because that's gotta be Kane!
By God! Skittles! Oh, wait.
Taste the rainbow.
By God, they're fruity, Kate! Oh. Sorry, I watched way too much WWE as well, I mean, as an adult even, but as a kid, oh yeah. And being a bottle, second item in Meyer, so He's Just a Boy. I think he's just gonna run out the lead here and find the big key while he's still here.
Which makes sense.
Yep. Absolutely. Mushroom for Sirbeaterofarse. Looks like he's also gonna remember that these two chests down here exist. Big key.
A big key and a big 20.
And now he's gonna take that convenient door back upstairs and check the big chest before continuing.
Except that door is not very convenient, because that staircase is glitched. What you have to do to get out of it is as you're heading up the stairs, you're holding left or right on the D-pad and then make an input down, and you're out of there. I'm not
just
sure.
A compass in the chest, though.
Yeah. Now, this is some unusual swamp routing.
I was about to say, is he just like, you know what, I'll just do left side swamp while I'm here? Apparently he is. Meanwhile, He's Just a Boy has not yet found the big key, apparently? Which means it's in that one chest in the... Ew.
Yeah, it's in the map chest, which is disgusting.
You'd figure the cutscene room would be the most disgusting place to find it in the big key in Misery Mire, but no, I think this one might be slightly more disgusting. There we go. Cringe jokes are the best kind of jokes. Don't at me. You clearly have not watched enough of my commentary if you think this is anything more than usual.
And to be fair, I'm more used to it because I've heard and seen plenty of stuff that'll make folks cringe. We'll
I mean, you know, we haven't gotten into any sort of discussion on what specific Star Trek actors smell like today, so we're already doing pretty well. Meanwhile, Piece of Heart in left side swamp first, Jess. Just 2 pieces of heart in left side swamp.
Not the worst thing that could happen, and I could see this routing into Magic Bat. Just doing hammer pegs first. And interestingly enough, Sirbeaterofarse not taking out Argus, leaving the green pendant on the table.
Well, he might think with that Cane of Samaria, that might lead to Quake or something else. Looks like he is going to check Bombos.
Cane of Burna.
Wrong
I'm
Cane.
gonna be honest, I would have done that after defeating Argus because this is basically going through the game just to find that one item. I wouldn't leave a single check missed. Even if it is a pain in the butt boss. Oh, there's Blue Mail for He's Just a Boy on Magic Bat.
Alrighty. So I think both of our runners are going to be max Blue Mail because I honestly don't feel like He's Just a Boy would head back to grab that red mail off of race game.
No, I believe that was on the library, and you'd need boots for that.
Oh yeah, I got it backwards. My bad. Yeah. So we're definitely not seeing that from either runner. Having some technical issues with He's Just a Boy stream from the looks of it. Give us a moment. Meanwhile, Sirbeaterofarse is heading into Misery Mire.
Takes a hit from a Wizrobe beam. That hurts because just like in Zelda 1, that does 4 hearts of damage when you have green mail.
All right. Hup. Uh-oh. Kind of surprised Sirbeaterofarse didn't take that powder and get that fairy from the bubble beam in the front of Misery Mire, but to each their own. Yep, we're having some technical issues with He's Just a Boy stream. We will get that back up as soon as possible, folks. Some odd choice of magic uses by Sirbeaterofarse here. Or pointing out we do have the possibility for bootless spooky glitch here, and powdering would break that. Well, apparently that was not in Sirbeaterofarse's plans. Oh, got the powder, got the fairy, but ran into a skull before he could get the fairy to proc. So that's gonna be a wipe and go back to the front of Misery Mire. Do not pass go, do not collect 200 rupees.
Well, in baseball, they say the tie goes to the runner, but in a number of older video games, and this is one of them, the tie doesn't go to the player.
Nope. All right. As things continue here, we will continue to commentate on Sirbeaterofarse's action as we attempt to look into the issues on Hesjustaboy's end. Lumaga picking up on the fact that I used some MMO tech terms there. Which, yes, I primarily played World of Warcraft. Note the past tense there for the moment.
I know folks who play Magic the Gathering Arena, so the term of wipe, not unfamiliar.
Yep. All right. Arsh just kind of picking up the chess here because he is also in search of that big key. Nobody ever expects big key in the map chest here. Sirbeaterofarse should have lethal within the next 2 turns.
Basically, by using Collision Colossus and Fling. Now I'm getting pretty specific, so I'm gonna knock it off.
I haven't played Magic the Gathering in years, so like I think the last block I actively bought cards in is Eldrazi Unchained, I think it was called.
Oh, that goes way back.
Yeah. I mean, at least our runners won't have to face Jiraxis, Erdar Lord of the Burning Legion, anytime soon. Alright. Arse now making his way to the map chest here.
Yep, or at least not stare down Impervious Great Worm, where, well, it'll be known as formerly Impervious after it gets done with Link spawns.
Yeah. Alright, Sirbeaterofarse, big key in hand, gonna be going downstairs to take on Vitreous here.
Worth noting that Magic Tape really is one of the best safety items to have outside the Silver Arrows.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Toggles the switch there for the next room.
Sets up to do it the intended way, as I can tell you for a fact, not everybody knows the spooky action glitch. I don't know that one yet.
Same. Because Link to the Past is an amazingly coded game, there is some stuff you can do to confuse the game into thinking you're on a different level of the game than you actually are, or different floor, I guess would be the technical term for it. So yeah, it can cause some weird things to happen. The orange cone of doom has disappeared on Hesjustaboy's side, so hopefully that portends good news incoming, but we shall see. Meanwhile, Sirbeaterofarse just YOLO strats there. Did not have the cape out.
Nicely done.
but gets a pretty decent Vitreous kill at any rate. And there is that 6th crystal. So now all that remains to us is to find that Quake Medallion wherever in Hyrule it is hiding. And there's plenty of places it could be at this point. Ether tablet remains unchecked. We could find the shovel. We do have possession of that mushroom, which is something we could definitely take a look at.
Or you could do what Sirbeaterofarse is about to do and head towards Big Bomb.
Yep, that is also a valid play.
And I'll say this right now. If Pyramid Fairy has boots and no Quake Medallion, that means you're going to either King's Tomb, Bonk Rocks, or Desert for a probable head requirement. Or if it's Quake, then the only thing holding you back is where the Ganon's Tower Big Key is.
Which would be a problem, except we're on Fast Ganon. So once we find that Quake Medallion, we just need to defeat Trinex, and then we need to drop down into the pyramid roof, into the giant hole in the roof of the pyramid, and take on the Big Pig himself.
The only seed I played that featured Fast Ganon was the festive mode. A lot of fun, worth checking out.
Yeah, I always meant to, never really got around to generating a seed for myself.
Yeah, the one seed I generated was done in under 80 minutes, which was like, excuse me? Never finished one that quick before,
and bombs in
that's
Waterfall,
a
so that's a plus. Or not Waterfall, Pyramid, sorry. Yeah, so yeah, our runners are just really hoping to find that Quake Medallion out in the open here instead of finding boots. But we shall see what happens. It looks like Sirbeaterofarse is about to try and kill the Pedestal Dream dead here. He is heading up to the Lost Woods. Or,
nope.
You know, not.
This is something different. This is going for Hammerpeg's purple chest, which we did not get to see because that's around the time Hesjustaboy had technical difficulties. And speaking of that orange cone, it's back.
Ugh. Rip.
Except Sirbeaterofarse never started the fetch quest chain involving Jeremiah the Bullfrog.
Indeed. All right then. I will say for those curious, it does not appear to be like a power outage on Hesjustaboy's side because he is still in the race room on SRL. So, just a technical issue with his connection to Twitch, I would assume. Meanwhile, Sirbeaterofarse is doing the Smith's Chain. So we'll keep working on trying to get that stream back up for you folks. As Sirbeaterofarse continues the chain.
I do not know what I'm looking at, but that's like, let's just go at that, oh, look on his face.
Well played to our restreamer. Well played. I can't.
That warrants a GG from me.
Woo! I was Not expecting that either. Oh, man. Okay, purple chest incoming for Sirbeaterofarse. Whew, alright.
Taking the direct route, I see.
Fair. Alright.
I think he overshot his intended destination, but that's just
Just
a
a
heart
little bit.
container.
Alright. So, we are still on the hunt for that Quake Medallion. And, you know, honestly, if I were Sirbeaterofarse, I would consider maybe thinking about fluting to 2 and turning in that mushroom and getting some refills while you're at it.
Well, there's also K45, which we have yet to see. Memory serves me.
Yeah, because we probably would have seen that on He's Just a Boy's end if his stream hadn't crashed first. Well, here comes that K45 check. Ten arrows.
Not worth it.
Indeed, it is not. Alright, so here's the moment of truth. What's that witch offering us for that mushroom? Mirror Shield!
And Sirbeaterofarse says, I'm good.
Oh, what? You don't want the lag shield? How dare you? And I would assume this is Ether now. Which, I mean, this would be a pretty convenient place for it to be because you're just right there for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, every so often this randomizer does that where it puts an item you need close to where you need it. I mean, we already saw that once this seed with the hammer.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically the question we're asking is where's that medallion, as mentioned in chat?
Yeah. Yeah, that is the one place Sirbeaterofarse does not want to see the Quake Medallion, is the green pendant, because, yeah, he kind of ducked out of swamp before he got it.
Yeah, if that's the case, he'd be hecked.
Well, he's not going to be
Well,
that term, because there's the Quake Medallion.
Yep, that storm that the Ether Medallion produced also had some thunder and lightning, as that's the Quake Medallion with that Sirbeaterofarse is now in go mode, so folks, strap in and hang on, because this seed's about to fly to its conclusion.
Yep. Unfortunately, probably the most labyrinth dungeon to try and go mode in the form of Turtle Rock. But hopefully the stars align and we get a favorable key distribution here.
Which is basically what determines how quickly Turtle Rock can be done. As if it's a slow Turtle Rock because of key distribution, then there's not much you can do about it.
All right.
Opting to go left first, heading towards the compass chest, there's a real nice little trick you can do to get out of this room. And I'll admit, first time I was in Turtle Rock, this threw me off. eye laser looking right at me. What am I supposed to do? Basically what he just did. Back up while holding a sword charge.
Yep. All right, now going left. Lighten the torches, nicely done. Not quite gonna get the quick hook shot there, but it's all right.
Which I'll admit, first time playing this game, I did not know about.
Well, it is kind of one of those things that doesn't really come up until you start kind of playing in like a speed or competitive nature, because why would you want to intentionally fall off like that?
Or you could just stumble upon it by mistake, shooting the hook shot at whatever random objects. Because some of them latch with the hook shot and some of them don't.
Yep, and we are still on the lookout for that big key, which is the limiting factor, I would say, in go moding Turtle Rock, is that big key can be in some out of the way spots.
But not
that is,
today.
however, yeah, is not out of the way. So Sirbeaterofarse, I think, is going to just steal this this small key coming up here, and skip the lava chest.
Which is the vanilla big key chest for those playing the vanilla game. So you can't skip it there, but you can skip it here because the big key didn't roll there. So in go mode, you can just grab this key, go back the way you came, and save the key for later.
Yep. Nice quad shot with that powder. There's that stolen key.
And that looks like Raphael is that bunny sprite, but in that big trench coat. Man, that thing's got to get wicked hot under there in the summertime.
Yep. I mean, hey, you gotta have somewhere to hide the secret of the ooze, right?
Or the secret of the shell in this case.
Well played. Way to build off the subtitle joke. Points to Leslie Pro. All right. Electing not to skip the big chest here, which, you know, makes sense. Could have the small key we need to get to Trinex, which it does. So
with that,
I
you
would
can just
assume
go straight from there to the boss.
Yep, and with gold sword and at least one blue potion, this shouldn't be too much of an issue of a fight. You should not need to take that safety hatch exit. So yeah, this should be a straight to Trinex and go. I say should simply because I personally had trouble with Trinex the other night, so granted I wasn't quite as decked out as our runners are, but is what it is. Whoop. There we go.
Watch that first step, it's a doozy.
Will ours remember to not go GD? That's a fair question. That definitely tends to trip up some runners in this mode. In fact, prior to the beginning of this race, I believe it was actually He's Just a Boy dropped the "Don't forget this is fast Ganon" in chat, and then basically said it was for his own benefit.
That depends on whomever lost game 2. Because in this tournament, it is the loser of a game that decides one thing that changes between the seeds.
Yep. And what you can choose to change, as you can see kind of by the nifty icons between our two feeds there, you can change item shuffle to shuffle the maps and compasses of our dungeons throughout the world instead of leaving them locked as they are now. You can change from open to standard mode, which is as discussed at the start of the seed, as Sirbeaterofarse is just annihilating Trinex here. Standard basically makes you act like you're starting a new game of Vanilla Link to the Past and having to go through the escape sequence before you can do anything else. Whereas Open just trips that story flag for you, but leaves the item in place of an escape, and you can choose to start from Link's House or Sanctuary. You can choose Big 20 from Trinex. There, nice. And Sirbeaterofarse is going to be on his way to the big pig fight here. You can choose Defeat Ganon or Fast Ganon as your goal. Fast Ganon making it you able to skip Ganon's tower, as we are today. The crystal number can be changed from 7-7 to 6-6, which is the number of crystals required to both to open up Ganon's tower and cause damage to Ganon, respectively. And finally, you can change from randomized weapons to Uncle Assured Sword.
It's not nearly as many options as last year's tournament, but these are still fun options to play with.
Indeed, they are. And I've seen just about. Honestly, the only one I have not seen switched by a runner, at least on Restream, I have not seen anybody go, you know what? Let's change the sword state from randomized. That's the only one I have not seen changed. The other thing I should note is a runner. The runners can choose to flip a change back. So, like for example, the loser of game 2 could have chosen, you know what? Instead of instead of changing one of the 2 flags that has been changed, I'm going to revert the first flag. First flag. Pardon my slip there. I don't know where that letter disappeared to, but anyway, first flag back to where it was.
And that would make Game 3 an open 7-7 defeat Ganon all over again. Speaking of, here's Ganon.
All right, Butter Sword.
Yep, Butter Sword is going to make the first 2 phases go by really quick, as it's only 6 or 7 hits each. And using the hook shot there does give Sirbeaterofarse iframes to avoid those firebacks.
Indeed. All right. So we are already heading into phase 3 here. Halfway done. Oh, did you find the arrows in Turtle Rock?
Oh man, that's why I sometimes clean out Turtle Rock, just in case I think I need silvers, because especially if I have Master Sword, then I'm not truly go mode until I find something else to help, be it silvers, be it tempered.
Yeah, that's what killed me the last couple times I've run this game is I was facing a situation where I was looking at a Ganon fight on Master Sword Silverless. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I feel your pain there, because last year's tournament, I was faced with that situation. I bottled it and lost a race by 13 seconds as a result.
All right. All right, that's an exploding big pig for Sirbeaterofarse. All he has to do is avoid the most dangerous 1x3 bridge in all of Hyrule, and he will be finishing this race.
Score.
Yep. So Sirbeaterofarse survives that bridge and finishes in 2nd place with an official SRL time of 1 hour 48 minutes and 32 seconds. Hesjustaboy finished in 1st place with a time of 1 hour 47 minutes and 40 seconds. Also, best Triforce room text in the randomizer right there.
Yeah, GG's to both our runners. That was a 52-second difference that unfortunately we were not able to see on Restream, but It was still a very impressive race that was very close all the way down to the end.
All right. So both of them are ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and drag both of them in here. GG's, guys. Welcome on in.
GG.
GG.
Yeah, GG's, guys. That turned into a barn burner.
That was a wild 3 games that we played.
Yeah, those were quite a few seeds there. Ugh. Fast cannon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, fast with about the biggest air quotes you can imagine. I mean, hey, you guys managed to sub to it, which is better than I can say for the last 2 fast cannons I've played. So, granted, my last 2 were also in Sea Shuffle, but
So
yeah.
I was just talking in the chat because I was watching the restream here at the end, and in Turtle Rock I skipped the big chest and I went to Laser Bridge, except I left one chest on Laser Bridge, which turned out to be the silvers.
Oh dear God.
Wow.
Did you check Lava Chest?
Oh no, actually I skipped Lava Chest, so it could have been there as well.
Yeah, so did I.
Well, either one of those is still just kind of a oof.
Yeah. I'm unfortunate my stream went down. I still have no idea why it's not working because I was getting a green light on my OBS, but it would have been nice for everyone if it would have.
Yeah. It might have been something as simple as the specific ingest server you were using went down. I don't know, but
I was having problems with my router, or I mean my modem, and I had to get a new modem this week. But I don't know. Who knows?
yeah, I'd figure if it was a problem with your entire internet connection, you would have left SRL at some point, which you did not.
Yeah, that's even weirder, right? Like my
Yeah.
internet was still functioning, so who knows? But I'll have to get my VOD uploaded.
Yeah. So yeah, we will need an admin verify on, but GG's regardless. From what we saw of yours, you were doing pretty well. So just
When did my stream cut out?
Right around the time you were taking the purple chest to Gary. You were like en route to Gary, and it cut out.
Yeah, I basically went into Swamp Palace right after that. Skipped left side swamp altogether, and then proceeded to check everything else before going up Death Mountain and finding my Quake medallion.
Yeah, I did it in a slightly different order, but kind of the same deal. I think what killed me was the very sketchy death I took in Misery Mire. In the
Oh my goodness,
yeah.
that was basically a frame perfect death, which was extremely unfortunate. I've heard tell of it, but never seen it till now, and that was just
just to describe what happened there is in the crystal room on the left side, I powdered the anti-fairy because I was down to 3 hearts, and on the frame I hit the fairy, I got hit by whatever I got hit by, and it played the fairy noise and then murdered me.
Oh, that's even worse.
Feels bad, man.
Oh,
Ouch.
like we didn't have your audio on at the time because that was I think shortly like the crash on He's Just a Boy's End had just happened, and Amarth was trying to get him back, so he hadn't switched the audio over yet. But we didn't hear that particular chain yank from the game.
Yeah, it was playing the fairy audio as it was playing the death audio. It was very sad.
Oh. Yeah, I believe you just got a little bit too close to one of the floating skulls is what happened in that room.
Yeah, I think that's what happened too. I moved a little left to grab the fairy and just hit it, but it was just absolutely perfect timing. And I think that would have, if I would have not done that, that would have been put it like dead even.
Oh man, that finish. Boy.
I feel like we route fairly similar altogether. All the seeds we've played so far, it seems like we've done very, very similar stuff. So not surprised to see this game be close. All 3 of our games were pretty close.
Yeah, I think we each won by about 7 minutes in the one that we won, and then this one was so close. But yeah, it seems like we do all the same things.
Yeah.
Yeah, your routing was fairly similar this time around as well. About the only thing I could really say you two switched around was the order of Mire and Swamp. Because Sirbeaterofarse went into Swamp first and then did Mire, whereas Hesjustaboy, you went into Mire and then apparently did some overworld checks and then went to Swamp.
Yeah.
So
I tried
very,
pushing
very,
off
very
Swamp.
similar routes. Not a whole lot of difference between the two of you, routing wise, or at least not anything significant enough that wasn't just kind of a, you could have done either or, and you just chose option A over option B.
Yeah, which we still needed option C as well for the UK go mode. So
Yeah.
I was a little nervous about Green Pendant Swamp. We had Green Pendant Swamp last time, and it was a complete bust. So I was not feeling it going in there, and then I was like, "That's it. I'm skipping left side."
Did you finish it?
No, I never did go back and finish it. So
Okay, yeah, me neither.
Yeah,
I did do that though.
Yeah, I was going to ask that because Leslie did note this down as something to kind of keep an eye on, just in case. Was there any specific reason why you didn't do Argus at that point? Because at that point, we were looking kind of down the barrel of this could be a pedestal seed.
The reason I didn't I was going just kind of assuming it wasn't going to be a pedestal seed because to do desert we would have needed boots because I knew it was boots locked. So I was just going with all right, screw it, it's not a ped seed, and I knew Argus had I think the compass. So I was just like, all right, we're just going to roll with that not being the case. And if it is, then so be it.
Fair point.
yeah, Argus did have a map or a compass or something like that.
Yeah, I did. I think both left side chests were like a full heart and a heart piece or something. And then I looked and it was, I think, compass or map. So I was just like, all right, we're not dealing with it.
Good call. I would have skipped it too. I wasn't worried about a pedestal as much without the boots.
Right.
If the boots came, my first check would have probably been pedestal right away.
Yeah, definitely.
Also fair. All right, 148 collection rate for you, Sirbeaterofarse. Not bad for this seed at least.
146 on my side.
It feels way worse than that.
It really does.
Yeah.
I guess without GT, that is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's a valid point. Yeah. Fast Ganon strikes again.
Yep, fast in name only.
Yep. All right then. So, GG's to you both. Pending admin verification. Congratulations on advancing. He's just a boy. And honestly, be interesting to see you guys in further tournament action. Anything else to add about this seed?
Good luck in the next round, and thanks a lot to commentators, trackers, restream. Appreciate the restream.
Hey, we wouldn't be able to do this if we didn't have something to commentate on. So, thanks for letting us restream you. And with that being said, my co-com has already handled dropping the commands in chat. Please feel free to give these runners a follow if you haven't already for the amazing races they've put on. Give the restream team, including our tracker Oro and our restreamer Amarith, follows. Follow us if you dare. If you enjoy the platform, don't forget about the podcast available, gomopodcast.com, or your podcast distribution method of choice. And if you're enjoying the chat, there's always the Gomo Podcast Discord with the bi-weekly seed available as well. So that's about going to do it for us. Enjoy further Challenge Cup action over the coming weeks, both here and on Zelda Speedruns. The main tournament still going strong over at Speed Gaming. So a lot of randomizer tournament action in the offing here in the coming weeks and months.
In the offing? Don't you mean offering?
I mean, I've heard it both ways, but hey. thanks for wrecking the flow of my outro. Jeez. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
All right. So until the next time we stream, have fun, and may you never have an Agapet seed. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. Take care. We'll see you next time.